Hello, my dear students. Today we will discuss about stress strain curve. Okay. Here, this is mainly related to tensile test. What it involves means it is the test subjecting a circular bar of uniform cross section to a gradually increasing tensile load until the failure occurs. Means here you have to consider one circular bar of uniform cross section. Okay, then you have to increase the load using UTM machine, universal testing machine, until the failure occurs. That once that experiment is done, you will get that stress strain curve. Tensile test is carried out to compare the strengths of various materials. Okay, change in length of a selected gauge length of bar is recorded by extensionometers. We have to fix that extensionometers to that machine, so that will record the change in the length. Okay, here a graph is plotted with the load versus extension or stress versus strain, and this gives the after that we will get the stress strain curve. Okay, here see, we can see this is the graph. Actually, load or stress, it is in versus extension or strain. Like this you get the graph here. See, there are different points you can see here: A, B, C, D, E, F, like this, right? At this portion till here, B, it is elastic, then it goes to partially plastic, and then after that breaking point. Okay, so this is the test specimen. Here circular cross section, this is of circular cross section, and this is the gauge length. It's the length we have to consider. So how we can explain the different terms here is like the first point, that point A is called, this point is called the limit of proportionality. This point is called as the limit of proportionality. What is this limit of proportionality? It is the point where the linear nature of the stress strain graph ceases. Means, see, you can see here, this is a straight line. You can see, right? Once after this point, it curve, it takes the shape of curve, it bends that. Okay, till this point the material that behaves like linear nature. Okay, after that it doesn't obeys that linear nature, it changes its nature. So this is the point, this point is called as limit of proportionality. Next, after that, point B, you can see here, this is point B here, right? This is called as elastic limit. Elastic limit, all of you know now, right? What is the elastic limit? It is the limiting point for the condition that material behaves elastically, but Hooke's law does not apply. What Hooke's law states? Hooke's law states that within the elastic limit, stress is directly proportional to strain. Okay, but this point is limiting point, elastic limit is the limiting point for the condition that material behaves elastically. Here, till this point, the material behaves elastically. Okay, next. For most practical purposes, it can be often assumed that limit of proportionality and elastic limits are the same. You can see here there is small difference here. Okay, so for practical purposes, it can be often assumed that both limit of proportionality and elastic limits are the same. Beyond the elastic limits, okay, there will be some permanent deformation or permanent set when the load is removed. Means this till here that point is elastic. I mean, the material behaves like elastic, but after that beyond the elastic limit there will be some permanent deformation. Okay, you can see here till that. This is the last point. After that there will be some deformation. See this point, C, that is C is the this point C. Here this point is called as upper yield point. Here there are 2 points. One point is this and one point is this. So C is upper yield point and D is lower yield point. Okay, means see, you can see here points after which strain increases without correspondingly highly increase in load or stress. After this point, what happened? There will be increase in the strain. Strain means what? Deformation. So deformation increases. That means the deformation increases. So this is the upper yield point. This is the lower yield point. Then after that, what happens? It takes the shape. Material takes the shape like this. That is ultimate or maximum tensile stress. This point is called as ultimate or maximum tensile stress, where means that point where the necking starts. You can when we do the experiment, you will come to know how that neck shape is a formation of that neck shape. Okay, so till this is the maximum ultimate tensile stress. So after that, what happens? There will be failure takes place. Okay, so this is the ultimate or maximum tensile stress, and after again if there is increase in the load, then what happens? There will be a fracture point. That is F, means the last breaking stress. That is the breaking stress. So in this way you can explain the stress strain curve. Okay, first y-axis stress and x-axis strain. Then till A, that is the proportionality, limit of proportionality. Material behaves like it is in a linear nature. Then B to A to B, that is the elastic limit, means till that point the material behaves like elastically. Okay, after that again it starts deforming. So the first point, the top point is called as upper yield point and this down part is called as lower yield point. Again if you increase the load, then what happened? It the deformation starts, and till that point it till that time it will take that load, but this is the last point. It's called as ultimate stress. After that failure takes place, so there will be a breaking of the or failure of the material, so that is called as breaking stress. Okay, we will see one by one in now detail what is limit of proportionality. See, if the tensile force, this is just limit of proportionality. I have divided that graph into different parts. The first one is the limit of proportionality. Here, if a tensile force applied to a uniform bar of mild steel is gradually increased and the corresponding extension of the bar is measured, then provided the applied force is not too large, a graph representing these results is likely to be as shown in the figure. Okay, here the tensile force is applied to the uniform bar of mild steel and the load is increased and the corresponding extension of the bar we can measure here. If you apply the load, there will be a deformation. This is the load, y-axis load, and x-axis is the extension. So if you apply the load, it keep on increasing like this. Since the graph is straight line, extension is directly proportional to the applied force here. This is a straight line graph. The point on the graph where extension is no longer proportional to the applied force is known as the limit of proportionality. Means till this point there will be that is it is a straight line. The graph shows straight line. So the end point of this straight line, that is called as the limit of proportionality. Okay, in this we can understand what is the limit of proportionality. Okay, this is the straight line. It is in linear nature. When you apply the load till this point, that material behaves like a linear material. Then after that, limit of elasticity. Here this is. Till here it is proportional limit. Then after that it behaves like there will be change in this nature of linear nature. So the point just beyond limits of proportionality, the material can behave in a non-linear elastic manner until the elastic limit is reached. So it behaves like non-linear manner. So until this elastic limit is reached, this is the elastic limit. So this is the proportional limit and this is the elastic limit. Okay, then if the applied force is large, it is found that the material becomes plastic and no longer returns to its original length when the force is removed. So this already I have explained in the last classes. If the applied force is large, then material becomes plastic, means the material starts deforming. So they no longer returns to its original length where the force is removed. Okay, so in short, what we can say, the value of the force up to and within which the deformation entirely disappears on removal of the force is called as limit of elasticity. Means till that point the material regains its original size and shape after the removal of the load. Once that limit is crossed, it doesn't take the original shape. It becomes plastic. Okay, this is about the limit of elasticity. Next we'll see what is yield limit, that is upper yield point and lower yield point. You can see here, till here it is proportional limit, then elastic limit. Here this is the upper yield point, this is the lower yield point. When specimen is stressed beyond the elastic limit, strain increases more rapidly than the stress. Okay, the sudden elongation of the specimen takes place without appreciable increase in the stress. This phenomena is known as yielding of a material. Means when the specimen is stressed beyond the elastic limit, the strain increases, means deformation increases more rapidly than the resistance. And the stress means the resistance to the deformation. But sudden elongation of the specimen takes place without appreciable increase in the stress. This phenomena is known as yielding of the material. The portion between upper yield point and lower yield point is called yield stage. This point here to here, that is called as this portion is called as yield stage. Okay, the stress corresponding to the point of upper yield point is called as yield stress. The stress always corresponding to the point of upper yield point, that is called as yield stress, not with respect to the lower yield point. So yield stress is always with respect to the upper yield point, with respect to this point, upper yield point. Okay, next, ultimate stress. Ultimate stress is the stress goes on increasing till the point E is reached. Here, when the stress goes on increasing till the point E is reached, at E the stress which attains its maximum value is known as ultimate stress. This is the maximum point, this is the ultimate stress. If you increase the load again, the stress goes on increasing till this point is reached. In other words, stress corresponding to the maximum load taken by the specimen is called as ultimate stress. Also it can be said, it can define like stress corresponding to the maximum load taken by the specimen, that is also called as ultimate stress.
Okay, next we will see what is strain hardening. Okay, strain hardening is the phenomena of increase in stress from D to E, is known as strain hardening. See here, you can see in this figure, this is the portion where strain hardening happens. During strain hardening, the extension of the specimen is quite large. Okay, see, both the figure it is same. Here I have not mentioned, like points are not shown here. Okay, see, all of you know now, in the last classes I have explained, right, what is proportionality limit, what is elastic limit, what is yield strength, what is ultimate stress, and what is fracture point. See, this portion that is called as elastic region. Till C, the material regain its shape and size after the removal of the loops. But once it reaches its elastic limit, then it behaves like plastic. It shows plastic characteristics, means deformation starts, right? So this portion, when you increase the load on the material, the deformation continues. Okay, so this portion D to A is called as strain hardening. Again, if you increase the load, then failure takes place and material breaks. That is the fracture point. If in this stress strain curve, what you have to calculate is Young's modulus E. How you can calculate Young's modulus? You have to find the slope. Now, all of you know this. Consider some horizontal distance run and vertical distance rise. So, find the slope. That gives the value of modulus of elasticity. Okay, Young's modulus E. So, in this way, you can explain what is strain hardening. Next, we will see what is ductile and brittle material. Okay, if the materials undergoes large deformations before failure, when tensile force is applied, it is called ductile. Means it undergoes deformation before the failure. So steel is a very good example for ductile material. Now, just now I have told how the different processes are involved in the case of steel. The failure doesn't happen immediately. It undergoes large deformation. Then the material fails. But if the material does not undergo any deformation on application of force and fails due to rupture, is called brittle material. Here the material deforms immediately under the application of the force. The glass is a very good example for a brittle material. It breaks into pieces if force is applied on it. You just imagine steel and glass, how the failure takes place. So steel is a ductile material and glass is a brittle material. We will see how the stress strain curve for ductile material already you have seen. We will see how it is for brittle material. Okay, the typical stress strain curve for a brittle material will be linear. You can see here. See, this is a straight line. This is linear in nature. So in the case of brittle failure, there is no yield point like how it is in the ductile material. There is yield point, there is elastic limit, there is cold drawing, strain hardening. Different processes are involved in the ductile failure, but in the case of brittle failure, there is no yield point. And also, one of the characteristics of a brittle failure is that the two broken parts can be reassembled to produce the same shape as the original component, as there will not be a neck formation. Here there is no neck formation like in the case of ductile material. The material suddenly fails without giving any warning. Okay, so this is the difference between brittle and ductile failure. I think all of you now know how to draw stress strain curve for ductile and brittle material, right? Thank you.